I think the real impact for this actually lies with Mr Turnbull in Australia, because whereas President Trump's position was pretty clear for a long time, the content of what Prime Minister Turnbull has said in this exchange is quite remarkable and will be seen as new in Australia. One thing, he describes himself as a Prime Minister of Australia who's just a transactional businessman. I mean, that'll go down like a lead balloon back home. Secondly, then to say, hey, look, we just want to be seen to be doing a deal with you guys. You don't actually have to take any of these asylum seekers or refugees. And then as part of the swap, I think what most Australians will find new news is, again, what Anna has just referred to, namely Mr Turnbull says, we'll take anybody that you want to send to us. So on these three counts, I think Mr Turnbull now faces, through this extraordinary leak from the United States, a very large-scale domestic political problem concerning his own credibility and his tenuous hold on the Conservative Party leadership in Australia.
So what do you think the political fallout might be for Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, especially when you have people saying that this is a really embarrassing moment for Turnbull when he talked about, this is not a refugee swap to the public, yet you look at these transcripts and it indeed is.
Look, I mean, first thing is that this should never have happened, in the sense that diplomatic communications and diplomatic records of conversations between heads of government should never be leaked. In my case, they end up getting leaked by WikiLeaks. But for it to come from somewhere within the administration is just jaw-dropping. But from Prime Minister Turnbull himself, now that it has been leaked, it goes to deep questions concerning his honesty and integrity of his dealings with the Australian people. That's his problem. He's already on shaky ground in Australia. He's seen as transactional in terms of basically abrogating core principles that he once stood for. For this now to come out and him to self-describe himself as just a transactional businessman in his dealings with the US administration, I think is going to place enormous pressure on him in the Liberal Party, his political party of which he's head, where he's already under challenge. So I think this is going to be the first of a series of very long days for Mr Turnbull.
All right, thanks to former Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd.